Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Obscuria Filmcast, where we discuss the movies that we love and you love to hate, or just never ever bothered to even check out because you never heard of it before. Please hit that subscribe button and give us a like and comment with us and tell us what you think and if you have any questions or suggestions. Today, we will be discussing a film brought to you by the great Sean Behrens. And very nice. And this film is called What Happens in Vegas. Sean, take it away.
This is a rom-com from 2008 called What Happens in Vegas. It stars Cameron Diaz, who I think is phenomenal, and I love rom-coms. It's my second favorite genre. Ashton Kutcher is in it. I'm not a big Ashton fan at all. I dig him better as a person than I do an actor. I think that explains my feelings about him, but he's really good in this. And I just wanted to do a rom-com. It only got 26% on Rotten Tomatoes, 65 audience score, but 26% is pretty low. The budget was 35 million. The box office, when you add everything up, it's 219, but it did get really bad reviews. I'll read some of the summary. What Happens in Vegas is a 28 American romantic comedy film about Cameron and Ashton, a couple who get married and win a casino jackpot prize during a drunken night in Las Vegas, but their simple plan to get a quick divorce and divide the money is complicated by the divorce court judge's ruling, who's played by Dennis Miller. The title is based on the Las Vegas marketing catchphrase, "What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas." The woman who directed this is named Dana Fox. She's like an expert rom-com.
She wrote it. She didn't direct it.
Right.
She wrote it.
That's what I said.
No, you said
She
she directed
directed
it.
No, I said she wrote it. Anyway.
Well, we have it on film.
We have it on. Okay.
We have it on film.
Okay. Anyway, she wrote The Wedding Date, Couples Retreat, How to Be Single, Isn't It Romantic? And she just wrote the Cruella movie that just came out, which I saw and I really liked. I was surprised how much I liked Cruella, to be honest. She did some TV. She wrote some Children's Hospital and a show called Ben and Kate, whatever that is. And she produced a season on New Girl, which is my favorite sitcom. The director is named Tom Vaughn. He's Scottish, and this movie is the best movie he ever did. I looked at his filmography. It's a lot of TV, and this is the best movie he ever did. Unless you'd like, what's it called? That Harrison Ford, Brendan Fraser movie, Extraordinary Measures, if you like that one. But it's bad. This is his best movie. It also got nominated for some Razzie Awards, which was Worst Actress for Cameron Diaz, which I don't understand at all, and Worst Couple, which I don't understand.
This one worst couple and worst actress.
No, we got nominated and
nominated.
lost,
Okay,
but it lost to Paris Hilton for The Hottie and the Naughty.
okay.
So people think that this film is on the same level as The Hottie and the Naughty. It's not. This movie's basically a masterpiece of romantic comedy genre. It hits every single beat pretty perfectly. It has the tears of friends. It has what keeps them apart. It has the moral message in the end, as well as the moral flaw in the beginning, all outlined out. And it's beautiful. It's 90 minutes exactly, and that's how you know it's well structured. I looked up a list of the best rom-coms in history. Somebody decided there were 71. The list was 71. This movie didn't even make the list. You know what did? Yes.
What?
When Harry Met Sally.
You're right. When Harry Met Sally.
But that's considered one of the greatest romantic comedies of all time.
Great. Roman Holiday was number 2. You've Got Mail was number 5. But this movie didn't even make it.
Well, I wonder why.
And my big fat Greek wedding was like 36, and that was the highest grossing rom-com of all time. I don't know who made that list because like Notting Hill was 3. I'm like, what? Notting Hill? Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, okay, my faces are not because I disagree with what you're saying. I just, your enthusiasm always, it really gets me, and how defensive you are. Like, I know they don't like it, and I know that nobody's gonna appreciate this the way I do, but it's great, and and that's why. But so I don't disagree with you. I think this was a really good movie, for what it is, which is like a certain kind of thing. I'm very. I don't know if you were done. I don't want to interrupt you. Did you have more to say?
I just want to say this, okay? Popcorn is also great food. Okay? So if you have it in your head that porterhouse, that's what good food is, or tofu, or whatever else, or a ninja restaurant.
I think you're getting it all. You're getting it all wrong.
Popcorn is also good food.
Stop comparing this movie to popcorn. It's not fair to the movie. This movie is like a really, really good greasy spoon diner when you've been drunk all night.
I know what Seth's going to say. That's what.
You know what I'm saying? Like your favorite diner in the world that has the best omelet, that makes it exactly the way you want it, and like the best milkshakes, and no place you'd rather be when you're wasted on a Sunday morning at 5 a.m. after partying all night on Saturday. That's what this movie is.
Yeah.
I want to say one thing that I think it's like, for me, was the biggest elephant in the room with this film, and it kind of sums up how I feel about it. I like zany comedies and romantic comedies and all that stuff. I think it's great. And anybody who denigrates that genre doesn't understand how difficult those types of films are to write. And how much skill it takes to actually make that and get it produced. And there's a reason why this film made $200 million. And just like many other films in this genre, it's a clinic in good screenwriting. Now, is it perfect screenwriting without any flaws? No, but it more or less completely holds together and is very well paced. So if you want to learn how to become a better writer, these are the types of movies that you should see. And probably most of the other movies that we suggested you shouldn't see. But basically, like, the thing for me, the big elephant in the room with this film is that from the jump, I'm like, man, this movie reminds me of The Hangover in terms of its like humor. Wait, let me say it, Sean. And I'm thinking to myself, so they kind of ripped off The Hangover, right? I come to find out The Hangover wasn't made until a year later. So that's the number one thing that I give this movie mad props for, is that it had that new kind of style of humor that you start to see with the Judd Apatow guys and all that. But it was like original, and it predated The Hangover, even though a lot of the thematic material of like getting wasted and waking up married to somebody, and it's a very Hangover-esque thing, but it predates The Hangover. So mad props to the writer for not ripping off The Hangover, and maybe their Hangover was a rip off of this movie.
And Zach Galifianakis, this was like his first.
Yeah, and Zach Galifianakis
role.
was in it.
This was his first real role where they just let him be Zach, and they used some of his stuff. And his role here got him that role in The Hangover, because he wasn't like, comedians knew him, but he wasn't known. They really did, make the thing. And I do agree with Abram here, because it's just like, Andy Warhol is also considered a great artist. The man painted soup cans. I'll tell you this. I went to go see the soup cans because it's like whatever. And I saw the soup cans all together, and I'll tell you this, it hit me. I like understood what he was saying, and it was anyway. So that's where I put this movie too. It's not trying to break new ground, but I really enjoy when you have all the rules and you hit every beat. That's not easy. Everybody knows it's coming. It's a rom-com. You don't expect them to break up in the end. You want to see them get together, but that's why I really enjoyed this process of like how they do it, and how they use that ring that Jason Sudeikis gave her in the beginning as an audience's like MacGuffin throughout the story, because this ring now became a symbol of like their friendship and stuff. And you follow the ring throughout the characters of the film, which I always really liked. I like the back and forth and how they're all trying to up each other. And I really do like how their relationship completely offset their moral flaws. Now I know you think of the concept first, then you give moral flaws to the characters, you know, for like the end. You think of instead of putting the cart before the horse and like whatever else. But you know, these are like lessons we need to learn, because Ashton learned not to get scared about emotional investment, because in the end she says, I bet on you, Jack. And in the beginning where he gives her the craps dice, says you do it, you know, because he's a little scared, and she helps him with that. She learns about herself by not trying to please anybody on the beach. She has that speech in the end. I think that was just kind of beautiful, you know. It's like a Confucius Taoism thing, proverb of trying, like, not pleasing anybody. You get to discover yourself. Like, that's deep. That's an inspirational banner for Facebook if you want to put anything on that, man. You know, if you don't stop pleasing people, you find yourself. It's a beautiful message.
Okay, Judy, Seth.
I'll let Seth.
Judy, go.
Oh no, I don't. I don't even. I'm like, I don't even know what to say about the movie.
Sure you do.
Okay. Well, first for me, I had a hard time with the acting. I just felt like it was so characterized.
You mean the
that I
acting
could
that
just
didn't
see
exist?
the acting all over it. What?
You mean the acting that didn't exist?
I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was. Yes, I know they hit every structural beat, right? And I saw it coming, and I enjoyed it. And I agree with you where, you know, it's like the popcorn. Like, I wasn't going into this movie thinking I'm going to watch this like epic Oscar-winning film. It's like a film that you go to when you want to have a good time, right? That's what I think of most rom-coms or comedies. And I like comedies. I just felt like it was, especially Cameron Diaz, and I like her. I liked her, and so There's Something About Mary, which I think came out a few years before this.
10 years, yeah.
I don't know. I just think it was so, I don't know if it was overacted or what, but it just
May I?
rubbed me the wrong way a little bit.
May I?
Yes, go.
Did you think the acting was good in The Shining?
Yes. I'm trying to go through all the actors in my head.
There's no mugging in The Shining. No one is mugging in The Shining.
No, I'm just saying that it's okay. I get it, but it's like it's like James Cagney.
Sean,
back in the day.
can I chime in about
You're
the
comparing this
Shining
to
statement?
James Cagney performance?
Yes.
No, no.
No.
Okay, here's the thing, Sean. I like this movie, so I'm not going to shit on it. But if you're going to say what you just said about The Shining, then you basically have to say that about every Stanley Kubrick movie. There is no acting. There's nothing. There's just Stanley Kubrick doing this with the actors.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you can make that argument about every single freaking Stanley Kubrick film.
Okay, I just think that's why. Yeah. Okay, I see.
It's a completely you can't make that comparison. Don't compare this to The Shining or any Stanley Kubrick movie. That's all I'm saying.
All right. There was a sitcom back in the mid-90s.
Can I defend the acting? And like,
Oh, I
have
love the
one defense of the
supporting
acting.
players, though.
The what?
I didn't have
yeah.
the supporting characters. I don't know. Their acting didn't bother me. It was mainly Ashton and
No, they are
Cameron
mediocre
Diaz.
actors. At least in this movie, they are. And they had a few moments, whether I don't know if they were accidental or not, that were really well captured and touching. And I would say the number one, the best acting moment in this film is the expression on Cameron Diaz's face when she sees after she had invited his parents over to their house without him knowing, and he walks in and she's sitting at the table with him, and she starts to get a little glimpse into the pain that his father causes him. And she starts to go into that like sort of mothering type of nurturing type of energy. and it's a very subtle thing she does with her body language, which shows that like for the first time she's really seeing his humanity and wants to be that, maybe that person who she kind of thematically became throughout the film, is that person who's going to push him into believing in himself. And that moment was, to me, the best acted moment. His facial expression, her facial expression. The father was good. You know, that was a great scene for a rom-com.
The dovetail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was also a redeeming aspect for her character.
Yeah, and she needed it. It couldn't have come any quicker at that point.
Seth.
I think that the supporting actors who come out of what is it, Doctor's Hospital? A lot of them come out of Doctor's Hospital. The best friend is the lawyer, and Lake Bell come out of Doctor's Hospital, and the writers from Doctor's Hospital, right? So I think a lot of the.
Wait, what's Doctor's Hospital?
Yeah, what the hell's Doctor's Hospital?
That's a TV series that like, wasn't that the
General Hospital?
Children's Hospital.
Children's Hospital, yes.
Children's Hospital. Children's
Rob
Hospital.
Corddry, yeah.
Yeah, that's where. Yeah, so the writers from there too, right?
I'm looking it up now because I don't know it.
And so is Lake Bell. They're all in like, everyone's in another genre. Like all the supporting actors are good. They're in a comedic genre, and but there's nothing likable about Ashton Kutcher or Cameron Diaz in this movie. In fact, they're actually given unlikable characters at the beginning, and they can't even pull that off. And she mugs through this whole movie. She, with the exception that Isaac just said, that moment, her reactions are some of the worst reactions I've seen in a movie after 1956.
What do you mean by mugs?
Like mugs like this, like.
Let me say this. Okay.
They're all in different movies. No, let me finish, because the editing in only the scenes with Ashton Kutcher and her are all over the place. These fast, like Moulin Rouge cuts that are annoying. And also, if you can't make New York City and Vegas look good, it doesn't even look good in a rom-com. So I'm just like,
the external scenes of New York are shot so weirdly and in such strange succession that I almost am not sure if it is New York.
Was it?
I think it's New York.
It is New York.
So no, I know it's New York, but it almost looks like it's shot on like
Toronto.
going back to Kubrick, Eyes Wide Shut was also New York, but that was not New York. That was on a set. So like part of me is wondering if it isn't like some weird.
No, when they're doing golf near the Brooklyn Bridge, that's New York.
Well, yeah, I know that's a shot of the Brooklyn Bridge for sure. But I'm wondering, like, if some of the scenes just it didn't feel like New York.
I could answer that.
Okay.
I think that was an intended choice in tone, because the one thing about this movie has is tone, and the acting, but it stayed. I mean, I could answer that, but the tone stays equivalent throughout, and the frequency really didn't static out, but it looked like a sitcom, and it had all the best parts of New York with all the shitty parts filtered out, because it kind of made you want to be there in that New York instead, where it was fine. You could just hit golf balls and everything's fine, or whatever. You don't.
No, I actually kind of appreciate. I can appreciate that they made it sort of cartoonish version of New York, and that works for this kind of movie. Like it works the fake New York set in Eyes Wide Shut works for that movie. Like it makes it eerily kind of surreal. And in this movie, it makes this movie a little kind of like campy and goofy, which is cool. Like, you know, it doesn't need to be like Woody Allen shots of Manhattan or whatever. Like
there was one of the shots was filmed at Great Owl Park, which is I used to live near, and that was on my jogging runs. I just thought that was cool too, because they shot in that park. That is a nice park. But I did like the supporting characters here, especially Rob Corddry. I thought he was hysterical. I did like Lake Bell as well, and I could see how there wasn't any creativity with landing the actors, but like but it was like the story design I see is very done well, and also I guess you could say that Cameron mugs throughout the whole thing, but she's still the one thing that doesn't work for me is that she's Cameron Diaz, which is pretty much like saying you're Marlene Dietrich. She's up there, but her character in the movie, it's like she's kind of pining over Jason Sudeikis, where he dumps her and then she's put in like an inferior position. And they have like 3 or 4 other scenes throughout the movie, and she always has to like go back there, but it's Cameron Diaz. She's not less than Jason Sudeikis. I don't care where he went to school.
Yeah.
So it was just difficult for her,
You're saying that it wasn't believable that could happen? Like the characters weren't believable?
Well, no. Well, I don't think Cameron Diaz would have been with Jason Sudeikis.
Okay, but he's not Jason Sudeikis. He's a really rich lawyer, kind of like asshole rich guy from New York who's got an amazing apartment and like way more resources than the average guy. And she's kind of a dumb, like,
traitor,
superficial sort of chick who would date a guy like that and like is openly like that. I mean, it's not bad. I'm not saying she's a worse human being or anything, but this is not a girl who like this, her character isn't have like, it's sort of just like all the goofiest, most superficial aspects of like your average chick in New York, and like the men play caricatures of other superficial kind of caricatures of themselves too. These people do not have a really deep, heavy personalities around them. They're just characters. They're not real people. It's a cartoon. It's a cartoon.
Yeah, but that's what I like about it. It was comparing it like to popcorn or like diet soda or like something.
It's a cartoon.
I do like the sitcom look and feel. And it's not like I love every rom-com, because Friends with Benefits I just didn't like.
Which one is that?
That's Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis.
I didn't see
that.
That
was written by Elizabeth Merriweather, who created New Girl. So it's like the same type of thing. I just didn't like that one, and I really like What Happens in Vegas. I can kind of see, because they're kind of like this, like the same. But remember
I think the romantic comedy genre hasn't really been exploited as well as it could be, because we've had such orthodox kind of like strict ideas about what you can say about men and women and this and that. As some of that starts to ease up a little bit, I think the romantic comedy genre can get a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, because now there's so many more genders and stuff. Not to sound like a jerk, but to sound like a jerk, but you could have a transgendered. All right.
I don't think that. Show me the evidence of it.
It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, because nobody wants to see that shit. Let's be honest about it.
All right. Well,
no, nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that.
I was just gonna say, I don't know how much big box office appeal that would have.
It's never going to.
New York, LA, and
if Judd Apatow
they're trying to shove that down people's throats now.
I agree. That's why I think it'll work.
No, you're not hearing me out. Okay. Look at the movies that do that. Look, go back and watch all the movies with those themes in it that were in the Grammys that you never heard of, and look at how well they're doing. That's not what people want. People want honesty.
Yeah, but it gets made.
What?
It gets made. It gets like greenlit. I guess that's where my
doesn't make any money, bro. Nobody fucking wants to watch that garbage. I'm sorry, I had to say.
No, hey, I'm on your side as far as the business goes, because nobody does, and I don't know how many losses they have to. What
I'm saying about the future of the romantic comedy genre, if anybody wants to take it there, it used to be edgy, and like it used to be honest about the bullshit of the men of today and the bullshit of the women of today. And I mean, I think this one did a pretty good job of that. But I think as our society starts undergoing some changes and difficulties, and like the things like we just saw for the last 18 months, and a little bit like this is the okay. This movie, one thing that struck me about this film, it came out in 2008. I mean, what guys remember what was going on in 2008?
Yeah, it came out
Okay.
like right in the middle. It was spring 2008. It was like April
Right.
4th.
And
That was like,
you know, and I'm not saying that like it would have done better if it had addressed the financial crisis in the movie. I'm not saying that. That's not how this works. But like when you see, it's like when you see them. This is sort of the trend during this whole time was like, it's just a party time in America. And part of that is a function of the age that I was too, and at that particular time. But like this movie came out when at least like some of us were in our 20s. Like we were younger. Like that was 13 years ago. We were a lot different 13 years ago. And this movie sort of depicts a kind of like that sort of decadent whatever. Like who cares about what's going on in the world? It's just these two goofy people. And you know, Dennis Miller, the judge, trying to make a point. But I like that it sort of did that. I like that it had some of these like traditional moralistic things about it. It's kind of funny because like the reality is like people then and now and continually like they think of the relationships in a really unrealistic way. And what this movie depicts is that like on a certain level, anybody can be married to anybody. If you decide you want to be married and you find somebody who shares your values and like is on the same page with you, this whole idea of being soulmates, you can become soulmates as you cooperate with each other. And like, and that's an important lesson. I know that like, it's silly to bring that up because this movie was just about gags and stuff, but I found it particularly interesting that in the wake of all that decadence and everything, that they decided to make a movie with that message, which I don't know how much that message even like dawned on people. If anybody even took that seriously, probably not. But here's a statistic for the folks out there who might not know this. I don't know if you guys know about the Christian cult by Reverend Sum Young Moon they call them the Moonies, but they had some other name they don't like being called Moonies, and I would call it by the other name if I knew it off the top of my head. But he performed a mass marriage with a bunch of random congregants, and he did it. He says, you are going to marry you. You're going to marry you. You're going to marry you.
Did he wait? I saw the picture, but I thought those were real couples. They got assigned to each other?
Yes. Some of them were real couples.
Let's watch that movie next time.
It's all right, but
Seth, let me finish my
more
point.
meaningful.
Seth, I want to hear that, but let me finish. I don't want to break up this point here. There's an important message to this. I'm not trying to get distracted here. These guys were mostly randomly put together by the Reverend. Some of them might have been couples, and he would say, yes, you guys are good together. But a lot of times couples were broken up. And people just married who they married, and that was it. And then they got married. And then they went like 30, 40 years later, and they looked at the divorce rates among all of the couples from that congregation. They were exactly the same as the rest of America. All the people who were in love were so in love with each other. Oh, you make me feel so good. No, and then the love fades, and then
goes into a whole other thing. Yeah.
Right. No, but I'm saying like, listen, I think people can. I do believe in soulmates, and I believe in all that stuff. But like a relationship is work and commitment and compromise and all those things, and it's never not that. Like marriages never stay together without that. And so like that's. If there's any moral message, it's that people need to grow the fuck up and think about relationships like grown-ups, not like little children.
I think that's a good moral message too. You really see that. Like they don't like each other, but they got to do it, and it's a goal that they have. In the movie, they use money, but if you do that, and then they wind up falling for each other because you get to see behind their surface personalities, and then they each become vulnerable to each other. It's a beautiful movie.
It's also about when ego meets ego, and then they get past their egos together.
That is a good point. I love this movie.
Well,
Seth?
Seth, okay, what were you gonna say about the Moonies? We should make a movie about that.
We should make a movie about the Reverend Sun Myung Moon. I don't know. I just, if you want to see a movie with no chemistry in it, this is the movie to watch. And a movie where a guy takes a piss in a sink. That's But I'm glad that a lot of character actors got a lot of residuals, including my friend Andy Daly, who graduated high school with me. Is probably the most successful person who graduated in my class.
Wait, which one is he?
He's the guy at the front desk who helps them out.
The blonde guy?
Passes.
With the what?
He's been around.
It's Andy Daly. Yeah, he was in high school theater.
Oh,
with
the
me.
guy who's like, you're scary. That guy.
Yeah,
he was in Eastbound and Down.
It's like in everything. He's like this improv comedic actors and everything.
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
He's been.
But you know what? You know when you really know that someone has comedic chops and two people don't? When they're in the scenes with Queen Latifah and she just goes like this, and it's funny, and they're mugging the shit out of the scene, and they're not funny at all.
Man, I know what you're talking about, and those are hysterical scenes.
They're
Like he
terrible.
comes in with the
They're
glasses, and
They're
he
terrible.
says that little anecdote from sleeping with the enemy.
Dude,
How was that not funny? I was laughing.
I just said what's funny. They're working their ass off, trying to be actors, and she goes like this.
No, but even in
And
the
it
one
gets a
before,
laugh. I didn't
Nobody-
laugh once this entire movie, except
Not
the Queen.
once?
No, at Lake Bell once, and at Queen Latifah several times, but at them, no.
it was just
No.
when in one of those sessions.
Seth, do you
Ashton
think
is
you
like,
get too fixated on the acting and that you
No,
can't like you
I
can't
don't
enjoy
like the
the?
writing either.
So
I don't
okay, so
like
you
the
didn't like
writing either.
you didn't think any of the gags were funny,
No,
like worth it, not even a chuckle. Like I
why
wasn't
not
like
make a romantic comedy that's good, like Harry Met Sally, or like
Train
something
Wreck.
like where you.
I liked Trainwreck. All the Amy Schumer's movies I liked.
I can't stand her.
I'm
sorry.
Snatched was good. I Feel Pretty was good. Trainwreck was good.
Okay.
I saw them all in theaters. If there was another one, I'd watch it.
Yeah.
I was
Um,
distracted by the editing. What else was I distracted by?
Oh wait, no. Oh, I know what to say.
Editing.
I know what to say.
The fact
No.
that the money doesn't mean anything to them at all, like they have to stay.
No, that's a good thing because in like Robertown screenwriting rules, the most important thing in the beginning of the movie becomes the least important thing in the end, and the least important thing in the beginning becomes the most important thing in the end.
so Seth is making. Let me
perfect
explain what's
screenplay.
going on here, guys. Just so you understand, this may be getting too in the weeds for you because we've got professional actors over here at the bottom of the screen. I don't know if that's how it's going to be when it goes on YouTube.
Seth and I are on one side.
Whatever. We got Seth and Judy here. They're professional actors. We've got Sean, who's a professional writer. What Seth is saying is absolutely right. The acting is terrible. Yet the movie made $200 million. And everything that Sean is saying is also right, as long as he's not defending the acting, because the movie made $200 million. And I know there's some pieces of shit movies with horrible writing that can still make that kind of money, but mostly that never happens. So everything that Sean is saying about the structure and certain thematic stuff, and there's a lot of clever. The movie was very cleverly written, and I suspect that an actor somebody who's a serious actor watching this is just so distracted by how horrible the thing that they value the most is, that they're not able to see any of the redeeming qualities of the film. And
No, it's because
Well, no,
they're
you can see
so
past
bad
it.
in it. The other actors, the supporting actors, are good. It's them.
Okay, but-
Imagine if you took two people who had chemistry and put them in this movie.
You're only making my argument more. You're just saying
Okay.
more. You're saying, yes, Abram, you're right. And because that even makes it even worse because you see that the movie could have had potential, but the leads are terrible. And so I know you're defending some of the actors in this film. And it's just, as an ensemble, sort of doesn't work. But what makes it work is all the things that Sean is saying to the degree that it works, but it's just not enough for a guy like Seth and a gal like Judy. And I can completely understand that.
Yeah. I also want to say, for a general audience, right? 'cause it did make over 200 million. So for a general audience, it's more important for them to see actors that might not be the best actors, but they're likable. So those two actors are both very just likable actors. I think of like The Rock, right? Like I like watching his movies.
They're
Do I think he's a
cute.
great actor? No.
They have a cute shtick.
They
It's
have a
not
thing
good. Yeah.
and they're likable and people enjoy. And that's part of movies. It's like there's like Oscar winning films where they're just beautiful and well done and like so artistic. But the normal person who doesn't study film might not care and just wants to go. And this is always the thing that like this is why it's subjective. This is it right there.
Yeah. You don't need great actors to make a film that sells really well. Just like you don't need great musicians to make a pop hit that goes crazy. It's just the way it is.
That's it. I did like it in the part where they were with Queen Latifah, because the first part they try to fool Queen Latifah. I thought that was funny. It's like Ashton was like, I usually have a notebook with me because everything that she says is so important. I was laughing at that. I rewound it. And then Queen Latifah's like, nah, you ain't fooling me. So when they come back the next time, they're arguing, and like Ashton goes like, she's always there. Thought that was funny. Because then she was screaming.
As a married person, yes, I thought it was funny.
It was like not, just like it's not so serious. It relaxes you. One thing about entertainment that I guess doesn't have integrity or whatever else, or maybe I don't know. The one thing about entertainment, not cinema or anything else, that it brings people together. And that's one of like the most, I just think that's amazing and kind of noble, but I understand entertainment doesn't have integrity because it thinks of itself as more of a product. But that idea of bringing people together, I just always thought that was really, I don't know, just really cool, I guess. And that's what this movie does for me. I was expecting the director to have better stuff, but he doesn't.
What do you mean?
Like I thought he would have better movies, but
You mean you expected that the guy who directed this film had a better resume as a director?
Correct. Yes.
Before and after. Like,
yeah, he just did TV. He did an episode of Big Love on HBO. Starter for 10, which is a rom-com with James McAvoy in England.
well, the directing is weak, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess, but it does.
I don't know what to tell you.
I do like the cinematography, I guess, but some kind of beautiful. The Royals. He directed episodes of The Royals.
The Royals.
Victoria.
I think some of those TV shows, they're like those TV shows, if you've ever worked on them, they're such like a well-oiled machine that you could have a new director come in, but the crew works together so well that it's already held in place, which I think says a lot for this movie's script structure, is that like the script structure is so solid that you can get sort of like these mediocre but likable actors and like a mediocre director and still make kind of a hit.
Yeah,
it really does all
it's the
come down
exact
to
same
writing.
thing that we were talking about the other day when I was looking up that new Woody Allen book that you recommended, that you were talking about, Sean.
Apropos of nothing.
Yeah, Woody Allen made a very important point. He said this many times throughout the career. There are many things that are important to make a film great, but there's one thing that's the most important, and it's the script. There's nothing more important than the script, ever. And that even goes for acting. And I'm talking from a standpoint of the general public. As long as the script is good, you can get away with other things being mediocre in terms of the general public. And that, again, is proven by this film because the directing is unimaginative. The shots are mediocre for the most part. The acting is subpar. And it still ends up being a film that I can put my feet into my little general public shoes, sit down and get a kick out of it and watch it the whole way through, which is something I can't say for some of the other films that we've seen, because the structure of these scripts and some of these obscure films that we like to select leave much to be desired. But we love those films in spite of that, because we find other things about them that we love. I mean, this is sort of the first film that I can think of that really is like this is the first film that's a blockbuster, isn't it? I mean,
Yes.
Beastmaster wasn't a blockbuster. I mean, this
Oh,
movie was a
yeah.
blockbuster. And guys, this movie was a blockbuster because compared to all the other films that we've seen, the reason this movie did better is because the one thing that worked really well was the script structure.
Let me just, I lost it. Script, you said something about scripts. Oh, yeah,
Structure.
because we all know what the beats are.
Mhm.
What that does to our brains is causes it to relax, because we rest into it, because then we unconsciously know we're not going to be surprised. Therefore, we're more relaxed, making the movie more enjoyable. Because if unexpected things happen in a thriller, that's cool. It's exciting. I love Michael Clayton. I love that movie. But one of the things about what happens in Vegas is because you do know what's going to happen, and the beats are set perfectly in such a way where you're like, yeah, now they hate each other.
You just
they
need,
have to work together.
You know what's about to happen,
And
but
we
you
know
need to
it.
stick around to find out how it goes down.
Right, and that eases in the process. And for me, for the genre, I think that makes it more enjoyable. You know, it's not like horror, where there was one horror film called The Haunting in Connecticut.
Mhm.
I had it on DVD. That movie is amazing. That movie really got, out of all the horror films, that one really got me. Oh my God. I'd seen it anyway. But because that director knew how to do things well in the script and like stuff like that. But with this script, with what happens in Vegas, we get relaxed. And some people think that's, dumbed down. So to write something simple and easy is really difficult, because people hide in complexity. Musicians, they hide in speed. Drummers, if you listen to a fast drummer, doesn't mean they're good. They are hiding in the speed. That's what I.
You don't think this movie hides in the speed of the edits, of the poor direction?
Sure. Yes,
of the
there was segments where they put a lot of stuff together, especially in the sex scene, to make it more PG-13, which is cool. You understood they had sex, but you really didn't see anything at all. It was represented through montage, and I thought I saw like a black dude politician smiling like this in one of the montages. I swear to God, I almost went back just to make sure. But just to speed things along to keep up with pace in like the narrative. And that's what I think. It wasn't like Taken 3.
Okay, so I'm seeing a pattern with the films that Sean has picked so far, and I want to make a special request for your next one, which is not going to be for a few more. The first one you did is like really kind of sort of a cheesy milquetoast fantasy, corny movie, and then
Our audience, which film it is.
and then
Yes,
and it was
I made
Conan
everybody.
you made everybody
Conan.
watch.
Conan the Destroyer,
Conan the
and I
Destroyer.
won the argument.
No, yeah, okay, fine.
See?
No,
argument was that?
I'm making your argument here. I'm your only defender here on this one, and I defend you on the last. Everybody appreciated the Conan the Destroyer.
Okay.
Okay, and then you picked this completely screwed up movie on every level. Actually,
yeah.
like
Romeo is bleeding.
yeah, which I mean, I don't know what that got right or what it got wrong, but that movie was a jumbled mess.
It
And
looks nice.
It looks the shots
And
were
it
the most beautiful shots I've
feels
ever
good.
seen. But it was a totally screwed up, weird, edgy movie, like the most confusing of all the ones that I've seen so far in this show. And then you did another cheesy film. So I think the next one you pick has to be really screwed up again, like something messed up, dark.
What do
I want
when you
something
say
dark and twisted from you next. Sean.
define dark and like what's
No, you define it.
dark and twisted?
Okay, was Romeo is Bleeding dark and twisted?
Yeah.
Yes. Another one like that. Dark and
Dark and
twisted.
So
Because I don't want to
thinking-
do another rom-com.
Okay, I just figured this one rom-com. That's this.
Well, we did it, and
I'll
we
tell
all
you
went
this.
out to that restaurant, and some of us will go there again, and some of us won't.
I'll tell you this. This movie's better than every Kevin Smith movie. So
That-
would you rather
That
The
is
bar
a
is
very
so
low
low.
bar.
The bar is so low. That is like the short bus.
Yeah,
to-
I never liked Kevin Smith either. I really didn't. Jay and
This
Silent Bob
movie's-
Strike Back is
Small Rats.
Kevin
This
Smith's
movie
best
is
movie.
much better than the worst movies ever made that are totally overrated. Yeah, I think you're selling this movie short if you say that.
Honestly, Jay and Silent Bob is Kevin Smith's best movie, and he thinks he's a thing. Anyway, okay, so Dark and Twisted. Okay.
I do think that the movie was enjoyable. I just had a hard time, like I said, with that one aspect of it. And the other question I had too, actually my husband mentioned is, how come they never show her family or reference her family? Did I miss that?
No,
No,
they
she
never
has no.
did.
No,
She
they
has
never
no
do it.
family.
Okay,
Good point.
because they bring up his family even at court. It's like they've taken her, like she went from, and this is from a character thing. When I rethought about it, she was at his apartment, so I have no outside reference there. I'm not even sure why she's friends with what is it, Lake Bell?
Like
Because
Bell.
they just, I don't know, something about them didn't really work as like a best friend for me.
Yeah.
And I had no other outside to her life, like where she was living before she was with him. The job, something about the job didn't feel right either. I don't know if this was a casting issue, that like they took someone who's Cameron Diaz and put her in that role when maybe another actress would have been better suited for that role. But then also like even in the court scene at the end where his family is there, she's just
I
got
see.
nothing.
I see
I
your
think
point.
I know why.
Me too.
And it's going to sound sexist, maybe, but
I know what you were going to say. I was going to say something.
they had to make her like a less dimensional character, and they had to make him, so it's not sexist, he had to have less dimensions and then become more dimensional by the end of the film. And I just think, as far as having her parents in there, I think they might have just made the calculation that in order to keep this thing in under 90 minutes or less, they're going to have to strip that out of there. And he can be the one that has sort of this tenuous relationship with his father, and it's kind of funny, but she's way funnier in her work environment. They traded the family for the work environment with her.
True.
And like, and she's the goofy working girl transplant, probably not from New York, and he's the one who's from New York, whose parents are there. And like, yeah, the fact that it didn't even occur to me makes me feel like it's okay.
No, because
that it
that's the
wasn't there,
tone.
but the
That's
tone
that's
of it,
that's a movie with a good tone.
but when you say that, yeah, I mean, from a logical storytelling standpoint, it does seem kind of weird.
I think it would have been too much of a can of worms, because then if you see her support system and then you have to work out their dynamic, and with her depending on Ashton was a key thing to get her straight into his place.
And the
which,
parents,
if you think about it,
his parents play a very, very small role in this film, which is to say, here's a kid who grew up like sort of, you would think he's spoiled, but like he had a father who was always beating him down all the time. And that's his real like neurotic shtick or whatever. What's her neurotic shtick? Well, she's never good enough for the rich, like douchey lawyer guy. He's always going to get bored with her. What do I got to do to find a man who's going to appreciate me for what I bring to the table and respect me? So I guess like
I feel like they still could have thrown something in with the writing there, like that. There's just,
maybe they did.
they don't need to show it, but
or at least just talk
especially
about her
too-
parents. Yeah,
They
exactly.
did with
Even at
the
the
lighthouse.
At
The lighthouse and her
like,
father. Yeah.
Is it what was the significance of the lighthouse?
That was she said that was
completely happy.
yeah,
alone.
like the happiest moment I had, and there wasn't many when I was a kid, and things like that, because like her parents got divorced, I think, soon after. But that wasn't a scene in like beginning of the second act.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but I do see your point, but also she's more of an independent woman here. And she did show up to
totally.
work. Judy, those were 3-inch heels she was wearing when she showed up to work. Those were like 3-inch heels.
Okay.
I was just seeing if you maybe you know better. I don't know, but then she's a day trader, so she's on her feet all day in 3-inch heels. That didn't make much
But
sense.
I wasn't buying it. I don't know.
She's not doing stocks, right? She's in like they picked the
Hits.
it was like wasn't it a currency exchange or a currency trader?
I don't think I got that specific.
It was specific, and I remember being a little surprised by that they would choose that as opposed to like probably for budgetary reasons.
Yeah, like they traded currencies like yen, Deutschmarks.
A lot of people currency trading is a big thing, and speculation on currency for sure. You look at the whole cryptocurrency thing today. That's all people buying and selling money. That's a big, huge part of the trading world. People trade currencies. Money. Yeah, people are betting that this is going to be inflated. The value of this money is going to go down. What this money can buy is going to go down. There's a whole world of people exchanging currencies based on futures and future markets, and it's just as complex as every other kind of trading thing. And I think they probably did something like that so that they wouldn't have to have her like in the New York Stock Exchange and rent that space out.
Yeah, because that would have cost money for like even the logo.
Right?
Say that's all
license that. Yeah, I'm sure.
Like that.
So
yeah. I just really like this movie, and it's like you don't need to see
for screenwriters. It is a good, very structured script that especially new screenwriters should start with to learn the formula.
Yeah, if you could take a movie, exactly. If you could take a movie like this and watch it a few times, assuming you can sit through it a few times, and really every time something happens in the story that you're like, oh wow, that was clever, make a note of it, and then try to understand how and why that worked and why it was put in that place to time it or whatever. Like that'll help you, I think, probably benefit you a lot in terms of story structure and whatnot.
Yeah, because even the battle with the bathroom door, he took it away to get back at her, and then it was used as a bargaining chip later on in the first scene when they had that party when they first got together. Also in the trailer, you didn't see Ashton actually peeing in the sink because I watched the trailer. You don't see the stream. In the movie, you see the stream. In the movie, I think he was really peeing. And they filmed it twice on set. Once where he's peeing, and then once again where he's not peeing because they shot for the trailer.
Yeah.
There was also a scene playing basketball with the dad that wasn't used in the movie too, because they wanted to get his abs. That's how you could learn from this. This is a lesson.
But so is pretty much any romantic comedy.
Yeah.
This one just happened to be despised by the critics, and I think maybe to some degree fairly, but not maybe 27% is a little harsh. I don't know. That's almost our time, I think.
Okay.
You guys have anything else?
Seth, it's okay, man. If you don't like the movie, it's all right.
Like
You don't like to have fun. You don't like to have fun. No, you don't.
You're right. That's why I ran an improv group for 3-4 fucking years, is because I don't like having fun. You're right.
Well, I've never seen Seth more.
I've
never seen Seth more quiet on one.
Yeah, me neither.
Show. Yeah.
He's just despised with me. No, Seth is thinking of me different now. That's what it is.
You differently.
No, Sean, you're still the star of the show, bro.
Oh yeah.
Sean, it's your show, man.
I vote for Judy.
Well,
but
you're the leading man. She's the leading lady.
I guess. For sure. But yeah, it's like this. Not everything has to be One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Well, actually,
not everything has to be The Deer Hunter. That's all I'm saying.
We haven't done a single movie that's even close to one of those yet in terms of.
That's true. That's what I'm saying. Like deep art, it doesn't have to. That's all I'm saying. And all right, it's okay.
But why wouldn't you pick a romantic comedy that was good?
Well,
and obscure.
What?
Why? You really like
The Sweetest Thing.
I like these final objections here. I like Seth's final objections. Go, Seth. Keep going. No, keep going with that line. I'm the client. You're my lawyer. I'm pissed off. He could have picked any romantic comedy for this podcast, and he picked a mainstream one that made $200 million.
Objection.
Go.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, why did you pick one that's like this, that made money, that's this faulty, that the main characters have no chemistry and are nasty people too. Like
I'll
even
tell
the
you
jokes
this.
they play on each other, like when he like drugs her smoothie with the like, I was just like, man, why do I even like these people? Why am I supposed to like these people?
Yes. And I'll tell you this, that you're not alone. That was one of the major
Wait,
criticisms
he
as well.
drugged her?
Yeah. He spiked her drink. He like gave her like
Like
organic
some
speed.
energy. I thought
Yeah,
it was
like
going to be.
speed.
See, I thought it was going to be like a something like to make her shit herself, which I thought would have been even.
No,
better.
I thought it was like something to make you
It was an energy. It was like
brandy.
it was an
No, but
energy drink or something.
Yeah.
So what is it?
Yeah, but
Vodka Red Bull, was it? Or what was it?
It was like, you know, one of the.
charge or something.
It was one of those things that you like buy at the bodega. That you
Wait,
like,
this is
you know.
before they got married in the beginning?
No,
This is
this is
after
second
when she
act.
goes to
Oh,
work
this-
and she's on the floor and she's just pouring water over herself and screaming like she's on coke.
Oh, that was because
She-
he put something in her
Right.
drink.
It's like woo at the conference thing. Woo! Yeah,
So
yeah.
was the idea
It
with
works
that?
in her
that he-
favor.
What?
It
It
works out in her favor.
So he
Right.
tried to sabotage her, but it ended up working in her favor.
So his intention was to get her to act crazy at the office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I must have gone to the bathroom when I seen one. She got drugged. Okay. All right. So that was great. Thanks, Sean. And we will be moving on to a new film. And who's up? Seth or Judy?
I think it's Judy because
think
I
it's
did
Judy.
the double feature. I traded in for the double feature last week with
That's
you.
right. Okay.
So
cool.
it's Judy.
I'm not sure, you guys. I feel like I need to be better at picking. I don't know. Okay, so there's a couple films that I might not have liked at first, and then I rewatched them and I liked them, but none of them were like it could definitely be you guys get really mad at me for having to watch
No, there's no holy mountain.
So
I'm
Judy,
serious.
if
Well,
you're
we're throwing out Holy Mountain.
No,
I'm like,
Because
no
of
holy
that,
mountain.
we're doing
none
Holy
of these
Mountain.
films are perfect, so I can't even, like, my last film I felt like was like a really good film, like I could like go to bat for it, but these other films that I'm thinking of I know are flawed, but I still enjoyed them. So I could ask you, there's different categories. One's a gory horror film, independent, low budget probably. Another is a children's movie. And then another one is a 1990s comedy drama.
90s comedy drama.
wait, I need more information now.
Like more information.
The
Wait, what was
gory
the middle
horror,
one?
the gory
Okay.
horror thing.
First one is an independent gory horror film from 2013
Can I get? Oh, 2013.
or 2013. Very, very gory. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's really disturbing on my end. But the love and hate of that film was like intense online. Like people loved it and people were like,
This is the gory
I'm
one?
mad that I watched it.
Is it a remake?
No.
Okay.
Okay, and the second one
Somebody
is
made
a
a sequel.
children's film.
The second one is a non-animated children's film.
And then the third one
Wait,
is,
from what? Wait, when
Wait,
is
hang
the
on,
kids
hang
movie?
on.
Also
Sean.
from the 2000, I think it was 2018.
Okay.
2019.
So the first two are recent, and then the third one is
And the third one is, I think, from 1993 or something.
And it's a
sequel.
comedy.
It's a comedy drama that I really liked, but it's like it gets pretty bad reviews
Okay.
on the script.
So-
But I think the acting is probably good because
We
it
haven't
does
done a
have
children's film.
Oscar-winning actors.
I have wait. I have a proposition.
Okay.
We're gonna do this for the first time. So Judy has 3 films, and she's not sure which one she wants to do. I'm gonna say that she tells us what each one is, gives us a little bit of a synopsis, and puts it up to a vote. And if all 3 of us pick different ones, then Judy's gonna have to do the tiebreaker. But if between me, Sean, and Seth, we get a majority,
Right.
then that's what we're gonna pick.
Okay.
Judy, how does that sound to you? Yeah, okay.
Sounds great. I think Spirit is trying to communicate.
Is this the storm? Maybe.
I think so.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it just passed over here. It's like probably hitting you now. It was really bad like
Oh,
half an
unless
hour
it's just
ago.
my light too. I don't know. There's nothing else.
Wow.
Well,
It
it's
looks like a
working.
David Lynch movie, Judy. What are those things on the floor? What is that?
What?
I just didn't know what the things on the. I see like patches of orange and stuff. That's
Oh,
all.
I do breath work. That's
Oh,
a blanket.
oh, that's
Blanket.
cool. And I
So-
dig the brown.
All right, so we got to wrap up. Judy, which
Which films?
yeah, tell us about each film.
Oh no, I think my son's waking up. Okay, the first film is called Contracted. It's about a woman who gets sexually assaulted. She gets raped, and basically she contracts an STD and is slowly deteriorating. And no one can figure out what's happening to her. It's pretty much the synopsis of it.
Is it like a
Um,
supernatural STD?
No, you never know.
Okay.
No, they don't. It's an unknown STD. I'll just say
Okay.
that.
I know that movie.
All right, what's
Yeah,
the
okay.
what's the second movie?
The second one is a movie called Zombies. I think it was a movie made for TV, and I'm pretty sure it's Disney. Really popular with the kids. It's a musical too.
Okay.
Oh God. Weren't
And I
you just
know
complaining
all
about
the-
zombies, Abram? All right.
And then
No.
the third one is Shirley MacLaine and Jack Nicholson. It's The Evening Star. It's the follow-up.
Wait, sorry. What is it?
It's called The Evening Star, and it's the sequel to Terms of Endearment. It's like 15 years later.
So now I have to watch Terms of Endearment
No,
and
you don't.
Evening Star.
You don't
No,
have
you don't. No, you don't. You don't. And it's written by Robert Hart. Evening Star is written by Robert Harling, who did Steel Magnolias, the play. He was a playwright, and he wrote Steel. It's like it's a southern.
Okay,
thing.
Sean, what do you say?
I vote for the Evening Star.
Seth?
Zombies. We haven't done a children's movie or a musical, so
I'm honestly kind of a toss-up between those two. I could go either way. The Zombies children's musical thing sounds interesting. I guess I'm gonna go along with Seth just because I want something novel.
Whoa! No, that means Judy has to be the tiebreaker.
Okay, so okay, fine. I'll abstain. Seth wants
Wait,
to
I
do.
thought you guys both, if you agreed with Seth, did
I'm
Seth
kind of
say
no
Zombies
because
or
I'm on
no?
the. I said I could go either way on.
Oh, okay.
He chose the 90s film. Seth wants to do Zombies because it's a little bit like I don't know, different from anything
But it's a
else we've
TV
done.
movie. Does that count? Does that even
It's a movie
count?
made for TV, yeah. I don't think
Does
it
it-
ever went to theaters.
The
But does it-
Irishman was a movie made for TV.
No, but it went to theaters for like 4 weeks. But so
Okay.
does I don't know if it count. Wait, so does that count? Does that count
I don't
now?
know, why not?
TV movies.
Did we
'Cause
ever
I got
say-
a Ben Affleck one from '91. That's amazing.
Oh boy. I'm gonna leave it up to Judy. Judy, give us a.
Wait,
Okay,
so what did
so
you guys? So
I
know
can't
which
decide.
one's solid.
Abram is voting for contract.
All right, maybe if I look it up. Let me look it up.
No,
All right.
Abram is voting for
We have-
contracted.
And I don't know, Contracted, I don't know if it went to festivals, but I
Yeah.
don't know if it ever went to like, I mean, it's very low budget.
And Zombies is Disney.
Zombies is Disney. Yeah.
I got
There's
it.
a sequel and there's a third one coming out. Sorry. There's
It's
a
a
third one
trilogy?
coming out in February, I think. They're filming the third.
Zombies looks kind of interesting.
I can't find it. What's it called? Zombies.
Zombies.
Just Zombies Disney. It's on Amazon.
Zombie
You guys have seen it
princess.
so many times.
I just see a TV episode here. I can't find it.
No. It's pretty, it's 2018.
This is the one. This is the one. Zombies. I'm with Seth.
all right.
I want to watch Zombies. It's almost like it's like almost like a young adult thing, right?
It's like a young adult.
Okay, good. It's not like for little kids. Okay, good.
Well,
Not for little kids.
No, but it's not for, like, 5-year-olds.
Zombies birthday party.
I'd rather
Okay.
watch Trolls again. I seen Trolls. I
Why
like
are you so
Trolls.
against this, Sean?
I'm not. No, I don't like musicals.
And it's a
man.
musical. You guys, it's gonna be
The
so
only
cute.
I'm a
musical-
musician.
No, I'm
I
not-
like
no.
musicals.
You should see Cabaret. That's the only good musical I've ever seen.
Bro, then you don't know anything about musicals. You need to be exposed to
I've
more
seen West
musicals.
Side Story. No, I've seen
Okay,
My
you've
Fair
seen
Lady.
all-
What about Chicago, dude?
Yeah, I
And
saw
this will be good.
Chicago.
It's a new genre that we haven't tackled yet. Children
no,
and
good.
music.
This is great.
Okay,
This is,
it's
I'm,
called
I'm
Zombies.
actually stoked about this now.
What was the year again? What was the year?
I'm pretty sure
2018.
2018.
2018. And
Yeah.
all right, got it.
So it's available on Amazon. I just did a quick search. It's available to purchase for relatively cheap, like $8. But I
Okay.
think we can probably
It's also
find
on Disney.
Yeah, it's gonna be on
Uh,
Disney Plus
you guys-
probably. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys watch this to the end, amazing. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again soon. Zombies 2018 Disney. Thank you, Judy.
Click and subscribe and smash that
Subscribe,
like button.
Smash that like button. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you hate. Comment in the box, and we'll be communicating with each other over the long haul here. All right, guys.
All right.
Peace.
Peace out.